Ryan, wait a minute.
What is it, Kim?
Why was your ex-girlfriend Paige waiting for you at the station? I thought you disappeared while I was in the restroom, only to find out you got into her car and drove off with her.
Oh, really? You saw that, huh?
I did, after coming out and looking all over for you for about a minute until I had the misfortune of seeing you doing that. First, just answer my question. Why was your ex-girlfriend at the station, and why did you get into her car?
Okay, don't rush me. So, the story of fate began about 6 months ago. Paige started working at my company. When I talked to her, I discovered that she lives surprisingly close by, and our feelings started to rekindle. Ever since then, we've been meeting up a lot after work.
So you're saying this is cheating, right?
Well, that's how it looks to you, but Paige and I are genuinely in love. We're even thinking about getting married. That's why today I decided to go back home to introduce her to my mom and get her blessing.
What are you talking about? If we were already divorced, then maybe it would make sense, but the order of things is all wrong.
Yeah, you know my mom doesn't like you, right? Paige has always been the one my mom liked back when we were together. So when I told her I was getting back with Paige, she urged me to get divorced from you as soon as possible. So honestly, the order of things isn't right at all.
What?
Anyway, I'm heading home in Paige's car now. You can either go home alone or walk to my parents' house right now. The choice is yours.
What kind of choices are those?
Well, you could come to my parents' house with me if you want, but just know that you'll feel pretty awkward watching me and Paige being all lovey-dovey.
Fine, I'll go to my own parents' house. Luckily, my family home is just one train ride away, so I'll head back there. But don't think you'll get off scot-free.
Suit yourself. It's not like I care.
Hey, sorry to keep you waiting. I apologize for taking so long to get in touch. Kim, were you okay over there? Did that misunderstanding family do anything to you? Oh, I'm fine, really. After I dropped him off at the entrance, I quickly texted him saying I'm meeting my fiancé now without even getting out of the car. It was kind of amusing. What kind of face did he make? He had his eyes wide open and he just said, "Huh?" It was honestly the most ridiculous expression you could imagine. I can totally picture that. By the way, I never expected that Ryan would be at my new workplace. I was shocked to find out he's married, and then to hear that his wife is someone I went to middle school with? What a double surprise. So you dated Ryan back in high school, right? Yeah, but it was for less than 2 weeks. Wait, does that even count as dating? Well, at least in his mind, it probably does. But still, I think he finally realized just how wrong he was about everything. I feel bad for causing you so much trouble. Even my mother-in-law took Ryan's words at face value. It seems like you really need to directly deny things to clear up this mix-up. It's okay, I don't want to be dragged into his misguided stalker antics any longer, so I was more than willing to help out. I truly appreciate it. By the way, are you heading out to meet your fiancé's family now? Yes, I just met up with him a little while ago, and we're on our way to his family's house right now. Got it. I am so nervous. You'll be fine, really. Just take a deep breath and try to relax like you usually do. Thanks, but you have your own battle to face soon. Yeah, I guess I do. First, I need to make a quick trip back to my place to grab my things. It's going to be a bit hectic. Right. Good luck with that. But remember, don't push yourself too hard. I won't. Thanks for the encouragement.
Hey! What do you think you're doing, moving your stuff out of the house?
Oh, I'm just back at my place now.
I get that, but first you need to answer my question.
Well, when you get divorced, it's usually the non-head of household who moves out, right?
No, rejoice! You don't have to get divorced after all!
Wait, but I thought we were going through with the divorce.
What? Hey, Kim, you don't have to divorce me now. At least respond with some excitement.
Why should I? We're practically strangers now.
What are you talking about? Aren't you at your family's house right now? I'll come pick you up, so get ready and wait for me.
This is exactly why we're getting a divorce.
Yes, I get it, but forget all that for now.
You didn't really send that completed divorce notice to my family's house, did you? Oh, you've got to be kidding.
Huh?
When I arrived at my parents' house yesterday, my mother handed me a brown envelope that had your name on it as the sender.
Oh, no.
When I opened it, it was the divorce papers.
Well, that's...
The postmark says you mailed it from a mailbox near your office the day before yesterday. So it means you were already planning to get divorced before we even went back home together.
I mean, that's invalid now.
No, it was accepted, so it was valid.
But now it's invalid.
Why is that?
I was deceived by Paige. She went so far as to transfer to my workplace and then arranged the date for her to meet my family for marriage. Yet on the very day we were going back to her hometown, she suddenly claimed that her fiancé was someone else.
That's your complete misunderstanding.
What?
Paige didn't switch jobs just to follow you. She was headhunted and just happened to end up at your company. And the date for the marriage introduction? That was about Paige and her fiancé, not you.
Yeah, but that fiancé was supposed to be me.
And there lies your biggest, most terrible misunderstanding.
Huh?
According to Paige, when she told her coworkers that the date for the introduction had been decided, you happened to be nearby and, for some reason, gave a thumbs up and winked at her, saying, "Got it." Then you sent a message from the company phone saying, "On the day, come pick me up at the station, and I'll be bringing my wife, but I plan to declare my divorce in front of you." A stream of one-sided misunderstandings kept coming her way. Paige tried to tell you that she had another fiancé and that your behavior was a hassle, but you completely ignored her.
No way!
Afterward, you just went on celebrating by yourself, and then you told your parents you were getting back together and moving forward with the marriage without knowing the real situation. When she talked to her fiancé and others around her, she found out through mutual acquaintances that your wife is actually me, someone who went to middle school with Paige.
Wait, a middle school classmate? You know Paige?
Yeah, apparently you didn't know that.
I can't believe it. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
That's how things turned out. Paige reached out to me, and after realizing that you were so caught up in your misunderstandings, we concluded that the only way to wake you up to reality was through some exaggerated actions that were very clear. That's why I went along with the plan at the station yesterday.
So, all of this happened because of misunderstandings?
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't expect you to send the divorce papers to my family, but here we are. Well, the outcome is okay, so I guess it's fine.
You really surprised me there. I thought I'd be done with all this.
But seriously, we need to clear this up. You're treating this as if it's just a joke, but it's affecting real lives.
I know. It's just hard to believe how everything spiraled out of control. I was just trying to do the right thing.
Well, it seems I'm the only one who actually did the right thing.
By moving your stuff out without a proper discussion?
Well, I thought that's what we agreed upon after everything that happened.
We may have agreed, but it feels like you just jumped to conclusions.
Say whatever you will about it, Ryan. In the end, you're the one that asked for this, so goodbye forever now.
Paige, because of you, I've been divorced from Kim. You need to take responsibility and marry me.
You brought this on yourself by not listening to what people were saying. Honestly, even now, knowing I have a fiancé, how can you still ask me to marry you? Are you okay in the head?
What do you mean by that? Then why did you come to pick me up in the car and drive me to my parents' house? At that time, it was just the two of us in the car. I mean, normally you wouldn't be alone with a guy unless you liked him, right?
Well, I figured you wouldn't do anything inappropriate while I was driving, but actually, my younger brother was hiding in the back seat the entire time.
Wait, your brother?
Yeah, the dash cam was recording the whole time, capturing everything that happened inside the car.
Dash cam?
Plus, I was on a call with my fiancé the entire time, too.
What?
So the moment we were alone together in the car didn't last even a second.
Seriously?
Oh, and one more thing. My fiancé is Devin, the guy you've been pushing all that work onto.
Wait, Devin?
By the way, he's the son of the president's sister.
No way!
Apparently, complaints about your work attitude have been piling up from Devin and other employees, too.
Really?
Including your harassment towards me. It's likely that serious penalties for compliance violations could be coming your way. You should prepare yourself mentally for that.
What a dead end this is!
Honestly, it's looking pretty grim for you right now. First, we reached an agreement regarding our divorce. Our financial demands would solely focus on the division of property. I decided that I would receive a larger share as part of the settlement. This decision was made to ensure that the financial aspect of our separation was settled amicably and fairly. After all the turmoil and emotional strain I had gone through, I wanted to close this chapter of my life as neatly as possible. It's likely that I'll never have to see him again for the rest of my life. The reason for this certainty is quite significant. Following the internal investigation at his workplace, it was revealed that my ex-husband had committed numerous compliance violations. These findings resulted in claims against him that amounted to the upper $300,000 range, which included damages and alimony. The situation was serious, and it led me to prioritize the victims of those violations when making decisions about the financial settlement. The aftermath of this entire debacle has had unexpected consequences. In a surprising turn of events, my in-laws have also decided to divorce. It seems that my mother-in-law, who has persistently defended her son throughout this turmoil, finally reached her limit with my father-in-law. The strain of the situation and the pressure of their son's actions became too much for their marriage to withstand. As things stand now, my ex-husband and his mother are living together in a rundown apartment. I can only imagine the kind of environment they've created for themselves. They used to be a close-knit family, almost inseparable, but now they're entrenched in a dire reality filled with poverty, where they struggle to even afford basic necessities like food. Reports indicate that they often blame each other for their misfortunes, leading to frequent arguments and an atmosphere thick with tension. It appears that they're caught in a cycle of anger and resentment, where each person is pointing fingers and refusing to take responsibility for their situation. I've heard snippets from mutual acquaintances who have relayed that my ex-husband, who once walked around with an air of confidence and pride, has now become a shadow of his former self. The lifestyle he once flaunted has crumbled, leaving him grappling with the consequences of his actions. He used to take pride in discussing his job and accomplishments at social gatherings, but now he's avoiding interactions altogether. He's become a recluse, ashamed of what he has become. It's somewhat poetic to think that the confidence he once wore like armor has now been stripped away, revealing a person who must face the reality he's created through his careless choices. In the past, he was the center of attention, celebrated for his success and charisma. But now the whispers surrounding him have shifted from admiration to disappointment. Friends and colleagues who once looked up to him are now distancing themselves, reluctant to associate with someone who has brought such shame upon himself. The social gatherings he thrived in are a thing of the past. Instead of being the life of the party, he's now left alone in that dingy apartment, which must feel like a prison. His former lifestyle has vanished, and he's left to confront the stark reality of survival. As for my mother-in-law, she seems to be struggling with her own identity. For so long, she took pride in being the supportive mother, but now she finds herself isolated from her social circle. The friends she used to rely on have distanced themselves, unwilling to associate with her due to her son's actions. The warmth of their family life has turned cold, replaced by an uncomfortable silence filled with unspoken tensions. Their daily existence must be filled with constant reminders of what they once had, now overshadowed by the fallout of my ex-husband's behavior. While they live together, the reality of their financial troubles is palpable. The apartment they share is small, lacking in the comforts they once took for granted. From what I've gathered, they often bicker over trivial matters, their arguments fueled by stress and desperation. It's a troubling scene, with the blame game becoming their new normal. They've each taken to pointing fingers, blaming the other for the dire situation they find themselves in. The love and camaraderie they once enjoyed has dissolved into resentment and anger. There are times when I can't help but feel a sense of vindication. The chaos that my ex-husband unleashed in my life seems to have come full circle, now landing squarely on his shoulders. Watching him struggle to make ends meet and to deal with the consequences of his actions brings a strange sense of satisfaction. For so long, I felt powerless and trapped in a toxic environment, but now I see the repercussions of his choices, and it reinforces my decision to leave that life behind. He used to laugh off my concerns, telling me that I was overreacting. Yet here he is now, faced with the reality of what he's created. The luxury of denial has been stripped away, and he must confront the truth. His actions have repercussions, not just for me, but for everyone in his life. I remember the days when he would belittle my worries, insisting that everything was fine. Now, with the weight of compliance violations looming over him, he has to grapple with the consequences of his poor choices. It's almost like poetic justice. He may have thought he was untouchable, that he could continue living without any accountability. But life has a way of balancing things out. Now the social gatherings he once enjoyed have turned into a cautionary tale, one where he is the subject of ridicule and disappointment. As I reflect on this, I can't help but think about how my mother-in-law has been affected as well. While I can empathize with her situation, I find it difficult to feel too much sympathy. After all, she chose to defend her son even when evidence against him mounted. Now that she's entangled in the fallout, she must face the reality of her blind loyalty. This entire experience has served as a harsh lesson for everyone involved. It's a reminder that actions have consequences and ignoring the signs can lead to disastrous results. For my part, I've learned to value my independence and self-worth, and watching them struggle only reinforces my belief that walking away was the right choice. I've moved on and started to rebuild my life. The burden of my past has begun to slowly lift, and with each passing day, I feel more empowered. I no longer have to live in fear of my ex-husband's temper or the judgments of my former in-laws. There's a sense of freedom that comes with severing those ties. It's liberating to realize that I can forge my own path without being held back by the toxicity that once surrounded me. The struggles of my ex-husband and mother-in-law serve as a stark contrast to the journey I'm on, one filled with hope and promise. Ultimately, I feel grateful for the lessons this journey has taught me. I'm stronger than I ever thought possible, and I am ready to embrace whatever comes next. The past may have been painful, but it shaped me into the person I am today, and for that, I will always be thankful. As I move forward, I will carry these lessons with me, knowing that I have the strength to overcome any obstacle that comes my way. I've learned to trust in my own resilience, and I am excited to see what the future holds. While I wish my ex-husband and mother-in-law well, I also understand that I cannot let their struggles weigh me down. Life continues, and so do I. I have a new chapter ahead of me, and I am eager to explore it. This is not just a new beginning. This is an opportunity to redefine myself. I'm determined to build a life that is filled with positivity, joy, and fulfillment. The past may have its hold on me, but I am ready to break free from its chains and embrace the possibilities that lie ahead. The world is vast, and I know there are countless opportunities waiting for me. I'm ready to seize them, to make my mark, and to create a life that reflects my true self. With each passing day, I will continue to grow, learn, and evolve, knowing that I am capable of achieving great things. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Tiffany, are you there? Tiffany, it's been 3 whole days. I tried reaching you yesterday and the day before that, and you've been ignoring my calls. When are you going to come and pick up your kid? I already told you that I live alone and don't have anyone to help me with this.
You mean it's already been 3 days? Well, it seems that you're a natural at raising kids then.
That isn't what this means, Tiffany. You can't leave a baby on someone's doorstep and expect them just to take care of it.
Oh, please, it's only been a few days. Don't be such a drama queen.
Are you kidding me right now?
Anyways, you got this. Just keep doing what you've been doing.
Tiffany, you're not going to just disappear again, are you?
Hey, Felicia. I see that you've been trying to get a hold of me recently. Sorry that I'm just getting back to you now. Work has been crazy and I've just been totally ignoring my phone to stay focused. I just caught a small break and thought to check my phone now, so I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
Theo! Thank goodness you're getting back to me.
What do you mean? Is everything okay?
Well, I know that you're out of the country on business, but I really needed to get a hold of you.
So something did happen. I was reading through some of your messages and they just seem way more panicked and desperate than the types of things that you usually send me.
Theo, I'm just curious. Have you heard anything from Tiffany at all? Because I'm still holding on to your kid.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
I mean that. I've called Tiffany and asked her to come and pick her up, but she won't answer the phone. I've even tried going to your place, but there was no one there. She's totally ignoring and maybe even hiding from me. But I've been watching your kid by myself for the past month.
Wait a second, you've had my daughter for the past month?
That's right. Although I was talking with a neighbor the other day, and they thought I should go to Child Protective Services. I really was thinking about doing something like that until you just got back to me now.
Hold on a second, I'm really confused here. I heard from Tiffany that she had a friend who ran a daycare and that she was dropping off our kid with them for the time being.
Did she really tell you that?
Yeah, she said she had some connection who could watch the baby and that a space opened up and she was able to get her in. I thought that that's what's been going on here. She said she was going to leave her at the daycare while she was at work and then pick her up at night.
I don't believe it.
I mean, I left Tiffany $2,000 because she said it would be enough to cover the daycare expenses. But now you're telling me that you have our baby?
That's right. And I've had her the past month. Tiffany just left her at my house, and I certainly haven't been paid for any of the babysitting that I'm doing.
What the heck is going on here?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, Theo.
Felicia, I'm really sorry to ask, but do you think you can hold on for just a couple more days?
What are you going to do?
Well, I have to go back home and deal with all of this, don't I?
But what about your work?
I'm sure my boss would understand that I can't just leave things as they are right now. Besides, you're one of my company's top illustrators, so if something is happening that's going to be impeding your work, I'm sure my company will want it taken care of.
I see. You're probably right about that. Okay then, I'll try and hold on for a little longer.
I am so sorry that all of this has happened, but please just hold on for a little while more.
It's okay, Theo. Just hurry back and be safe.
Hey Felicia, I just got a call from my mom saying that she had my daughter. Is that true? It's barely even a month and you're already giving up? You're an unemployed old maid. Why can't you do something for a working mother trying to get back in the office?
I am going to raise Rose from now on, Tiffany.
Excuse me, and just who do you think you are? You can't just claim my baby like that after a month.
It's not Felicia, it's Theo.
Wait, Theo?
That's right, and I know all about how for the past month, you've just abandoned our child with my sister so that she could take care of her. I'm going to text you from my phone now.
What's going on here, Theo? I thought you were going to be away for at least a couple of months.
That was the plan until I got messages from my sister explaining everything that had happened. I just got back home yesterday after talking to my work about all of this. So, do you have anything to say for yourself about what's happening?
I just don't get the big deal. Felicia doesn't even work. Why can't just babysit for a while?
What are you talking about? Of course Felicia works.
Wait, really? She does?
Yes, and she's a very important illustrator that my company hires, so we need her free to work.
But I had no idea.
Well, now it appears that your little stunt has gotten in the way of her working. When I told my boss what was happening, she personally signed off on sending me home straight away to deal with this. I seriously can't believe this has been happening for the past month.
I don't know what to say.
Well, after I got home yesterday, I called your mom, explained to her what was happening, and asked her to come and pick me up. Then we stopped by Felicia's to pick up our daughter and bring her to your parents' place.
So you were the one that told my mom what was going on?
That's right. And then I went back to our apartment and no one was there. Just where are you right now?
What do you mean? I've been staying at home this whole time.
Well, this whole place is covered in dust. I don't think that anyone has been living here since I left for my business trip.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
I mean that I want to know why, when I called your work to ask about you, did they say that you were still on maternity leave?
You've even called my work?
Of course I did, Tiffany. What happened to the $2,000 I gave you for the daycare?
Well, I don't know.
Well, I'm pretty sure I have a good idea.
What do you mean by that?
I bet that you spent it all to go on a little vacation with some guy that you're having an affair with.
An affair? Don't be ridiculous. Of course I'm not cheating on you.
Well, one of our neighbors told me that during the times when I've been away, the same strange man has been coming over. He even had pictures to show me of this guy.
You have to be kidding me.
Well, I have to say that I was just shocked to see that the man coming over was none other than my childhood friend Cameron.
No, you don't understand. This is all just a big misunderstanding.
Well, anyways, I called his family and explained to them about all of this, and now they're on their way to his place now.
What? Right now?
I imagine that they'll arrive any minute now.
Please, you don't understand. You're making a mistake.
Save your excuses for someone who cares, Tiffany. You abandoned our 2-month-old child with my sister who lives alone and has no experience taking care of a baby. And for what? So you can go and cheat on your husband? Well, I never want to see you again, but I am going to be taking Rose with me.
But what about your business trips and those kinds of things?
I thought I told you to can it. You are never going to see our daughter again.
I think I should get something out of the way here. Rose is most definitely my brother, Theo's baby. After this whole fiasco, he had a DNA test done to confirm it and was relieved to know that the baby was his. It almost made the fight for custody much easier. Both Tiffany and Cameron were sued for their affair, and Theo's job agreed to stop sending him on business trips for the time being. For now, he's waiting for a vacancy to actually appear at legitimate daycare. In the meantime, however, he's learning to be a single father and doing his best to watch over his daughter. I've been able to focus on my work again, thankfully, and things have mostly returned to normal. Although, now that my brother is taking care of Rose all by himself, I make sure to visit him often to see if he needs any help and give him any pointers that I picked up over my month taking care of her. I might not be the greatest mom, but I would like to be a really good aunt. As for Tiffany, she was required to pay child support on top of the lawsuit money. Rumors about her began to make their way around her office, and the shame caused her to make several mistakes at work, and I hear her next quarterly review is not going to go so well.
Hey, Deb, you have some real nerve. Do you know that? I mean, really, just what kind of game are you trying to play here? I want to know why you're hanging out with my fiancé so much. Just what are you getting at? Wait, what? What is all this about? Who even are you and how did you get my number? Wait a second, I recognize the name now. Isn't this Lindsay? We used to work together, right? I remember now, I used to be your supervisor. That's right. I'm glad you deem me worthy enough to remember. But what I want to know is just what do you think you're doing hanging around with my boyfriend all the time? Your boyfriend? I don't even know who that is. Oh, don't you play dumb with me. You're not fooling anyone at all, you know. Just come out and admit it. You've been stalking my boyfriend for a long time now, and I know it. You think that I'm stalking someone? I literally don't even know the person who I would be stalking. This is just ridiculous. What's ridiculous is the fact that you're almost 50 years old now, right? So what I want to know is why an old hag like you is hanging around with a young man in his 20s. Don't you see how wrong that is for you to do that? Look, Lindsay, I can promise you that I'm not stalking anyone at all, okay? You're lying to me and I know it. I've seen you do it myself so many times. I know that you're stalking my boyfriend, and it is seriously starting to piss me off, so just quit it. I still literally don't even know who you're talking about right now. I talk to and hang out with a lot of different people, so it's possible that your boyfriend is one of those people, but you still haven't even told me who that is. Tall guy, always wears a suit, broad shoulders. Does that ring enough bells for you? I work in an office where everyone wears suits, so no, if that's all you have to describe this person, then I still have no clue. Why don't you just tell me this person's name so we can stop playing this text version of Guess Who? You really think that I'm going to use my boyfriend's name in a conversation with his stalker? I wouldn't dream of it. Well, that's your choice, I suppose. But I just really think that this is the least effective way to go about doing this. I don't remember asking your opinion on that. Just make sure that you keep away from my boyfriend. Do you understand me? I literally don't understand you because first of all, I'm not stalking anyone, and second of all, I'm married. I literally have a husband and a son. I don't believe this. You're even worse than I thought. You mean to tell me that you have a loving family at home and you choose to go after my poor boyfriend? Although, I bet if I had to guess, my boyfriend would probably have to be around the same age as your son. Which makes all of this even worse. You're disgusting trying to go after someone your son's age. You're an old, washed-up cow and you need to learn to stick to your own age bracket. Got it? I don't know how many times I'm going to have to tell you that there is no stalking going on before you believe me. Shut up! I am sick and tired of having this conversation. Just make sure that you never, ever go near my boyfriend ever again. Oh, David, I'm home.
Welcome back, Mom. I really missed you. I can't believe your work sent you on an overseas business trip for 6 whole months.
Thank you, son. It really is nice to be back. I can't believe that I was gone for so long either. You know, I was actually supposed to arrive yesterday, but the weather was just awful. And then there were technical problems with my plane, and it was just a disaster.
Well, I'm just glad that you're back today. After all, I'm getting married tomorrow, and I was worried that you weren't gonna make it when you told me you were pushing your arrival back.
I really am sorry for worrying you. I was pretty worried about missing it myself. More than that, though, I feel so bad that I haven't been able to meet your fiancé once. I know that you both started dating a while before I left, but we were always so busy, and then I left for my trip.
Well, don't worry. You two will have plenty of time to get to know each other from here on out, and you'll finally get to meet her at the wedding. I've told her all about you, so I think you should just rest up and get ready for tomorrow.
That's very sweet of you, David. And yes, I really should go get some rest and prepare for tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow for the big day.
Have a nice night, Mom.
You too, sweetie. I'm so proud of you. Okay, now you've really gone too far, Deb. Just what the heck do you think you're doing at my wedding right now, huh? I thought I told you to stay away from my boyfriend, so why are you here on my big day? Please don't tell me that the boyfriend you were telling me to stay away from back then is the same man that you're marrying now. Of course it is. David's my fiancé, and by the end of the day, he'll be my husband. But before that can happen, I needed to make sure that you left so you didn't ruin the whole thing. I know that you were up to something. And is that really your excuse for what you did to me? The moment you saw my face, you grabbed me by the collar and dragged me out of the venue and threw me on the lawn. Then, when I tried to get back in, you told the staff to make sure that I didn't step a foot inside. Just what are you trying to pull with that, huh? What do you mean, what am I planning? My plan is to keep an old cradle robber like you out of my wedding so that I can marry my fiancé in peace. Be that as it may, I'm only here to watch my son get married. Well, you must have gotten the wrong place, because the only wedding happening here today is ours. That's exactly what I mean. This is the wedding that I'm trying to attend. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have no idea what you're saying. Maybe you're already getting Alzheimer's, you old hag. Let me spell this out for you then. David is my son. I am David's mother. Get it now? Wait, what do you mean by that? Okay, let's make this even simpler. My last name is Fairbanks, right? David's last name is Fairbanks. Are you starting to put it together now? I don't know if you just never picked up on that, or just didn't bother to even ask to see a picture of your own fiancé's mother. And I'm also sorry that as his mother, I didn't make more of an effort to meet you. You're not making any sense at all right now, Deb. I mean, just how can David be your son? I guess the ages would make sense for you to be his mom, but just because you have the same last name doesn't mean you two are related. Besides, I remember that in the office you used to go by Baker. Right. Well, that was my maiden name. Your maiden name? Are you kidding me? I guess I'll explain all this to you too. When I first started working for the company where you later joined, I was unmarried, and all the paperwork there had me under my maiden name. Apparently, it would have been a lot of paperwork and a big hassle to edit everything in the system, so I just told my boss to not worry about it and keep using my maiden name for simplicity's sake. I think that if you ask around where you work for other women who started single and got married on the job, you'll see that this isn't uncommon. No, that can't be right. You're just making up excuses and trying to confuse me, aren't you? You really think that I'm going to be fooled by some perverted grandma like you so easily? Sounds to me like you just don't want to admit that I'm really David's mother. Of course I don't want to admit that because it's simply not true. David told me that his mom manages her own company that deals with overseas trade. Basically, she's the total opposite of the sad, pathetic stalker that you are. She's actually done something with her life and owns her own company. She even went on a business trip for 6 months in another country. I doubt you've ever done anything like that in your life. And today is going to be the first day that I meet her. Well, you were mostly correct about everything that you just said. You mean like the part about you being a pathetic stalker? I'm well aware. Anyways, why don't you go ahead and tell David that his mother has gone home? Wait, what do you mean? Just tell him that you and I had a chance to meet and that I went home afterwards. I can't believe you're still trying to peddle this lie to me.
Hey, Mom, where are you? I've been waiting around since early this morning to see you. I really want you to come and meet Lindsay before everything starts.
Oh, we actually just met, dear. Didn't you hear from Lindsay?
What do you mean, so you're here already?
Well, about 20 minutes ago, I introduced myself, and she started screaming about how I was stalking you. Then she threw me out of the venue and prevented me from going back in. Just mention her old boss, Miss Baker. I'm sure she'll get the message.
Lindsay said that you were stalking me. I don't get it.
She did, and now I'm on my way to the emergency room.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, when she threw me out of your wedding, I tripped down some stairs and fell on my knee. It's starting to swell up a bit, so I think I need to get it checked out.
But I don't get it. Besides, didn't you come with Dad? Where is he?
Your dad was busy parking the car, and then apparently he forgot something and had to go back to the parking lot. It was all while he was away that this happened. But he's with me now and taking me to the hospital. Anyways, if you wouldn't mind telling Lindsay that I'm actually your mother, I think it would save us all a lot of time.
Right, got it.
This can't be happening. I don't believe it. You really were his mother this whole time. Why didn't you tell me before I did what I did? But I did tell you. I explained to you in great detail, actually. But you should have done more to make me understand. Well, I wanted to tell you in person, but before I could get a word out, you threw me down the steps. After that, I had no choice but to type it all out for you. Except you decided to ignore all of that and continue to treat me like a stalker. But that's only because I really did think you were lying. I mean, I thought that you were just some jealous old lady who quit because she knew she couldn't compete with me. But I had no idea that you left to start your own business and travel all over the world. Well, you basically took the words from my mouth. I only left that old job to start my own business. Me quitting didn't have anything to do with you, though. It didn't at all? Although I do remember you quite clearly from those days, and it doesn't seem like you've changed one bit. But please come back to the wedding. It's okay now that I know you're really David's mom. I believe you now. I'm afraid I couldn't do that if I wanted to. I'm at the hospital right now because of what you did to my knee. So, you won't come back? David, please, you have to reconsider. I really am so sorry. I didn't do it to be mean. I just made a little mistake.
I just want to ask one thing, Lindsay. When you saw me walk up to you with my mom, did you really think that I was just having a casual chat with a woman who was stalking me? It's not like I haven't shown you any picture of my mom. Did you really just not realize that her and my so-called stalker were the same person?
I just don't remember, that's all.
You've got to be kidding me.
I really didn't know they were the same person.
Even if you didn't, you acted before you even bothered checking who my mom really was. You didn't even try to use your words or act like a responsible adult. And that's why I knew that I just couldn't marry you.
Please, we can still make this work.
Maybe you can, but I can't. I never want to hear from you again.
When I got to the hospital on the day of what was supposed to be my son's wedding, I was grateful that my doctor said my knee wasn't seriously injured. Apparently, Lindsay somehow heard that the injuries were quite light and tried to use that to get David to take her back. She told him that I was going to make a full recovery and that in the end there was no permanent damage, so there was no point in canceling the marriage. In response, David told her that he was going to send her my hospital bills, as well as the cancellation fees for all their wedding plans. When she heard just how much that was going to be in total, she knew she couldn't pay it and begged even harder to put this all behind them. Of course, my son just ignored her, but Lindsay didn't give up and continued to follow David around, begging him to take her back. Finally, David felt like he had no choice but to go to the court and ask for a restraining order from his crazy stalker.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.